welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I like to talk about books, book reviews, reading vlogs, Song of Ice and Fire, stuff like that. So if any of that interests you, then please subscribe. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Frederik Backman release called My Friends. So if that interests you, then please keep watching. My Friends by Frederik Backman follows four adolescent friends, Ted, Yor, Ali, and the artist, as they escape their tumultuous home lives and navigate some of the pains associated with that, taking refuge on their local pier or dock in their town. Each of the characters has very distinctive traits. Yor is very protective and will do anything for his friends, also basically anything to see the artist reach his full potential. His father is really not a nice guy and his mother is incredibly sweet, but his home situation is really just something I connected with and something that is just so heartbreaking, but it kind of makes sense why he has such drive to push the artist and to really help his friends, because he sees like what his mom does for him and what he does for his mom. It kind of makes sense to me that that character is that way. And then there's Ted, who is a character that we see a lot in the book. He's dealing with fractures in his home relationships, particularly the loss of his father and how that has affected the relationship with his older brother, as well as his mother to a lesser extent. But I think I really liked the focus on the sibling relationship there and how that unfolded. Ali has a really dark story, honestly. I guess I won't get into all of it. It's set against her father's super reckless partying and reckless behavior and constant moving around, which is so destabilizing, and all of the consequences of that have obviously been really, really difficult for her. That is so hard to read, so hard to hear about, and it just breaks my heart. That's what her character is dealing with. Of course, the artist is such a symbol of hope, in particular I think for Yor, but for all of the kids in their group, and he kind of represents the idea of escaping their current existence, something bigger, something more. He has this intrinsic artistic talent that's just really cool to see. He's a really unique, sweet soul, but he's really dismissed by his family and honestly by a lot of other people in his life as well. He's kind of looked at only for his talent, and the rest of his really amazing, unique qualities kind of fly unappreciated, I guess, other than by this core group of friends. So the story weaves back and forth between their adolescent past and the present 25 years later, where an aspiring young artist named Louisa has been gifted an incredibly valuable painting by the artist as part of his estate. Louisa comes from a rough background as well, and undoubtedly there are some parallels between her and the artist, though she is her own very separate, concrete character. She is young and so interested in the story behind the painting that she is hearing from Ted, and so that's how we hear kind of the past unfolding through Louisa hearing this story and acquiring this painting. Because this is a newer release, I'm not going to get into a lot of spoilers and things like that. I'm just going to keep the summary here and say that those are all the basic components. You can expect the back and forth between the past and present. You can expect a lot of character dynamics between several main characters. I'm gonna give a warning if I do start talking about anything that happens towards the end of the book, but that's all I'm gonna say for the summary. Moving on to the review, Backman owed us nothing. He owed us absolutely nothing. Yet again, he gave us everything. You owed us nothing, sir, and you gave us yet another absolute heart-wrenching, witty, just super interesting, dynamic story. I mean, it's very reminiscent of Anxious People in the sense that there's all the interconnected stories, but I do think that it's got a lot of the notes of Beartown. It feels a lot like that, where it's delving into such adolescent feelings and the story behind that. It was a signature blend of witty, heartfelt, immersive, beautifully descriptive, and so indicative of just the vast human experience. Like, he has done it again. He has made us feel what it's like to be human again. He has made us feel what it's like to laugh with these characters, cry with these characters, just connect with these characters. And honestly, I think many people are going to end up declaring this his best work ever, his best book ever, and I can see why. I think it is just such a beautiful story of love and friendship at its core, really, and trust, even when those things seem like they should be impossibilities for these characters. Looking into these kids and each of their individual situations, the beauty of this story is that they forged this intense, trusting, bonding friendship, even when it seems like all odds are against that. And it is so, so beautiful. Something in particular that I've always enjoyed about Backman's writing is this particular way in which he foreshadows and hints at things to come, but doesn't give too much away, if that makes sense. So he kind of hints at what's coming, but he doesn't tell you, and I think it's a great tactic, reminding the reader of the bigger story that the smaller component is a part of, and it keeps the reader really engaged as well, because you desperately want to know what is coming. He really makes you want to know what is going to happen to such interesting characters and the circumstances, and I just love that little hint of foreshadowing that he does. Additionally, I think that the story itself stayed really engaging as well. There was a little bit of setup, but not really as much as I even would have expected. I found myself really immersed pretty much right away and found it really engaging and dynamic, especially by going back and forth between the current story with Ted and Louisa and the past. Obviously, that's just going to keep the pace moving along. It's going to create an easy way to explain a lot of what's happening because there's that built-in exposition by Ted telling the story, and there's that back and forth, and it creates a really dynamic read. I did not find it ever confusing when they were going back and forth. Again, I think because of the Ted and Louisa, the telling of the story as well, there were pretty clear back and forth times. As with most of his books, this was very driven by characters, so while there is an intriguing plot, it is largely character driven. I love the way he does this though, and I believe that he excels at this tactic as well, but it's not exactly an action book, though there definitely is some building tension and even suspense, I would say, at some times, especially regarding yours family dynamic and home dynamic. There's a lot there that you are always on the edge of your seat, always nervous. And then at the very beginning, you just know that something's going to happen to somebody, but you don't know who, you don't know when. And again, that's that foreshadowing, that's that tactic of really keeping us interested, knowing who is going to be affected by this, who is going to die, not make it, all of these things. And just beautifully written. I don't know that I really have a lot of negative things to say. This might be a really annoying review because it's just absolutely glowing. If you liked Beartown, you will like this. I don't see a way in which you don't like this. If you like Beartown, you're gonna like this. If you liked Anxious People, you're probably gonna like this. For those who came to Backman with A Man Called Ove, up in the air, I don't know, you might find this a little bit, it's got obviously all the adolescent kind of stuff, and so in a way it almost has that dash of young adult vibes from that, and so I can see how some people might not really like that much. By and large, people who like his other books are gonna absolutely love this. If you like really character-driven stories, you are gonna love this. Prepare to cry, laugh, all of the feelings, and I'm just so excited that he released another book. I know that he might be taking a break for a while from writing, and I totally respect that. Really, he's become my favorite author over the years, and it's just so wonderful that we got this one more story from him, because it is so good. It's just another absolute gem of a read. Alright, that is gonna be it for this review. Short, sweet. Please let me know below if you've read this, what your thoughts are, and I really want to discuss it because I'm just fangirling so hard over this. But anyway, subscribe, all those good things, and I will see you later. Bye!